Hey folks, how you doing? I thought I would go ahead and take the time out here to present what I plan on doing here. For those that may know, I've been attempting to finish up the course for our multidimensional anatomy with a ceremony which I'm calling the ceremony of the Taran, which hasn't been it's been a difficult 2.5 months, and instead of having to continue to wait for that because of circumstances and situations on my end, which I'm not willing to talk about, I am willing to talk about what I plan on doing in the meantime. What I've been looking to do, and I already mentioned this before, was a workshop, but this time very seriously, taken very seriously. My time, my effort, everything I'm going to be doing, and everybody else that would be included, or the attention for what is going to be presented is going to be very concise and clear. And that is the workshop for our multidimensional anatomy. And I've tentatively put together an outline for a schedule for the US and Canada and the US and the UK. Now, with the potentiality of it extending itself into such as Japan and Australia, separate days for that. But first, I want to see whether or not anybody's interested. And if nobody's interested in this, at least a minimum amount of people, I will not be doing this. I will go into a little bit more detail here in a second, but I just wanted to make clear as far as what I'm doing so everybody knows what's happening. There have been people who have been leaving Patreon. It's not my fault. Circumstances and situations occur that are beyond our control a lot of the times, and especially for myself, I'm getting older in life, and things are what they are without going into detail, which I'm not willing to do anyhow. But a lot of things have transpired that has caused me setbacks. Okay? That being said, let me go ahead and go through the tentative schedule. That's kind of a hard word for me to say today, apparently. So, how about outline? That can be revised. So, our multidimensional anatomy workshop schedule for what I have in mind for the US and Canada and the US and United Kingdom. So, beginning with the US and Canada. So, meeting days and times for the US and Canada will be Tuesday and Thursdays at 12 p.m. to 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, there's an overall difference of 3 hours here, okay? So keep that in mind. And for meeting days and times for the US and the United Kingdom will also be on the same days, Tuesdays and Thursdays, but at 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Pacific Standard Time is where I'm located, so it'll be an adjustment to that. There's an overall difference of 9 hours here in regard to the US and the United Kingdom. Now, I had mentioned Tokyo and Australia, but it depends on what happens with this here, those who may be interested. So let me go into the details of that, okay? The details for that, of these classes, would be paid classes. The workshop is a paid class. Now, in the past, I've worked for free, but I can no longer do that. I wish I could, but I can't. So the workshop is a paid class, all right? The cost is a minimum. Now, this is the minimum for me, okay? In order to be able to do this, a minimum of $25 per attendee. This is for an hour, okay? This is, again, to emphasize, this is my income to pay bills, rent, food, basic necessities, just survival, okay? So I must ask for a fee of $25 US currency, dollars, and a minimum of 5 attendees per location, such as the US and Canada and the UK and the US, there has to be a minimum of a combination of 10 total attendees in order for me to be able to maintain holding the classes, okay? As I referred to in the past, I've done this, I've worked for free for, well, decade and a half. So I wish I could continue that, but I can't continue that. I prefer to do that, but I'm unable to do that anymore. Haven't been for a while. So in order to survive and continue this work, it is required to charge a fee. Again, it's a minimum fee. All right. So I referred to a minimum fee and the attendees. However, donations are still greatly appreciated, and without them, I wouldn't even be here. Okay. Bottom line. There's very little that comes in through Patreon, and there's very little that comes in through YouTube. It doesn't even meet my rent. Okay? So, just saying, everything that's been done and everything that everybody who has been participating and supporting this, I'm greatly appreciative. And if it wasn't for you all, I would not still be here. All right. So now, if anybody would like a one-on-one or prefer a one-on-one video instruction for personal classes, that will cost $50 an hour due to time restrictions, because I can only spread myself out so thin. I'm like getting up there in age and everything else, so it all this plays a huge part to me doing what I'm able to do and not able to do what I'm doing. It's just me doing it, so I guess that's pretty much it. Now, if anybody is interested in this workshop, the classes, contact me directly. And if the required amount of attendees, because this is essential, meet the quota that I required, what I need, then the classes can be scheduled and we can begin. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. Outside of, if this begins, these classes begin, know that all payments for the classes need to be paid prior to the class session. Okay, so all payments will be made prior to each class section. I'm dealing with vertigo today, so it is what it is. But thank you for your time here, and thank you for listening. And please let me know so I know what to do, because this all depends on not just me, but everybody that may be involved. And there it is, folks. All right. Thank you.